Good afternoon. This report is for MBA 209, Leadership Effectiveness with Ethics. Hi Dean Marmelo and classmates, good day. I am about to discuss Chapter 3, which is all about understanding the foundations of leaderships. But before that, let me have a short introduction with myself and how my 25 years of continuous working experience relate on this topic. I used to work in a various bank like Prudential Bank, Bank of the Philippine Islands or BPI, Security Bank, and East West Bank for 22 years. I started my career in the banks as a rank and file, then got promoted along the way and became manager. So, I know how it feels and the challenges of being a subordinate and as a leader as well. Handling different kind of people under your team is a difficult task and it is very important to know and understand the foundation of leadership. It also matters the style of leadership you will apply for different people in different situations. Currently, I am now connected in an IT company as the head of the finance operations, handling 25 people. However, despite of my 11 years of experience as a supervisor to manager and now as a department head, I'm continuing to look for new ways on how to improve myself as a good leader. Like what Donald McGannon says that leadership is an action, not a position, which I always put in mind. Now, let's go to with our topic. As an introduction with this topic, the chapter 3, Understanding the Foundations of Leadership, uh, the attempt to understand leadership has been taking place for many years. A number of efforts have been and are being made to create a model or theory that captures key principles of the art of leadership. It is not the purpose of this book to detail those efforts, but it is useful to take a look at some of the leading concepts on leadership so that the reader can gain a better perspective on this important topic. The five foundations of leadership. Have you ever wondered what it takes to be an effective leader? With the requirement to have so many different skills and behaviors, it can be really tricky to understand. To help simply this, we put together a model that helps you understand what requires of an effective leader. We've called this the foundations. The five foundations of leaderships are attitude, understanding, relationships, teams, and performance. To help simplify this, we put together a simple model that helps you understand what requires of an effective leader. We've called this the foundations of leadership. Number one, the attitude. Having the right attitude is key to being an effective leader. Understanding what leadership is and having the right vision and values is core. It's about wanting to be a good leader. Number two, understanding, learning to understand different personality types, developing a diverse team, and understanding the culture differences will need to be considered. Knowing how to adapt and change your style of communication and being aware of your own behavior is vitally important. Number three, relationships. Developing effective relationship with your team, colleagues, and other departments will go a long way to helping you become a great leader. Understanding the roles of the team members and what do if conflict occurs are also really important. Number four, teams. Understanding what makes an effective team and how to get to this will put you in good stead. Using the team to help make decisions and solve problems will help you immensely and help the team feel as though they are listened to and invested in. And lastly, performance. Simply put, as a leader, you are there to ensure the team performs. Knowing how to set clear goals and objectives and how to monitor them is a good starting point. Then being able to motivate the team, reward good performance, and manage underperformance are also important. The foundations can be used as a bit of checklist. This can help you to build your own personal development plan to address any of the gaps you feel you have. The 8 major theories of leadership. An overview. What is it that makes some people excel in leadership roles? Leadership theories seek to explain how and why certain people become leaders. Such theories often focus on the characteristic of leaders, but some attempt to identify the behaviors that people can adapt to improve their own leadership abilities in different situations. Early debates on the psychology of leadership often suggested that such skills were simply abilities that people were born with. In other words, these theories propose that certain people were simply born leaders. Some more recent theories propose that possessing certain traits may help make people nature leaders, but that experience and situational variables also play a critical role. A closer look at leadership theories. As interest in the psychology of leadership has increased over the last 100 years, a number of different leadership theories have been introduced to explain exactly how and why certain people become great leaders. What exactly makes a great leader? Do certain personality traits make people better suited to leadership roles? Or do characteristics of the situations make it more likely that certain people will take charge? When we look at the leaders around us, be it our employer or the president, we might find ourselves wondering exactly why these individuals excel in such positions. People have long been interested in leadership throughout human history, but it has only been relatively recently that a number of formal leadership theories have merged. Interest in leadership increases during the early part of the 20th century. Early leadership theories focused on what qualities distinguished between leaders and followers, while subsequent theories looked at other variables such as situational factors and skill levels. While many different leadership theories have emerged, most can be classified as one of the 8 major types. Number 1. Great man theories. Have you ever heard someone described as born to lead? According to this point of view, great leaders are simply born with the necessary internal characteristics such as charisma, confidence, intelligence, and social skills that make them natural born leaders. Great man theories assume that the capacity for leadership is inherent. Those great leaders are born, not made. These theories often portray great leaders as heroic, mythic, and destined to rise to leadership when needed. The term great man was used because at that time, leadership was thought of primarily as a male quality, especially in terms of military leadership. Such theories suggest that people cannot really learn how to become a leader. It's either something you are born with or born without. It is very much a nature, as opposed to nurture, approach to explaining leadership. Number 2 theories, the trait theories. Similar in some ways to great man theories, trait theories assume that people inherit certain qualities and traits that make them better suited to leadership. Trait theories often identify a particular personality or behavioral characteristic shared by leaders. For example, traits like extroversion, self-confidence, and courage are all traits that could potentially be linked to great leaders. If particular traits are key features of leadership, then how do we explain people who possess the qualities but are not leaders? This question is one of the difficulties in using trait theories to explain leadership. There are plenty of people who possess the personality traits associated with leadership, yet many of these people never seek out positions of leadership. There are also people who lack some of the key traits often associated with effective leadership yet still excel at leading groups. Then, the third theories, the contingency theory. Contingency theories of leadership focus on particular variables related to the environment that might determine which particular style of leadership is best suited for the situation. According to this theory, no leadership style is best in all situations. Leadership researchers White and Hudson suggest that truly effective leadership is not just about the qualities of the leader. It is about striking the right balance between behaviors, needs, and context. Good leaders are able to assess the needs of their followers, take stock of the situation, and then adjust their behaviors accordingly. Success depends on a number of variables, including the leadership style, qualities of the followers, and aspect of the situation. Please take note on this. Number one, identify your leadership style. Number two, identify your situation. And lastly, determine the best leadership style for your situation. And let's have the fourth theory, the situational theories. Situational theories propose that leaders choose the best course of actions based upon situational variables. Different styles of leadership may be more appropriate for certain types of decision making. For example, in a situation where the leader is the most knowledgeable and experienced member of a group, an authoritarian style might be most appropriate. In other instances where group members are skilled experts, a democratic style would be more effective. The fifth theories, the behavioral theories. Behavioral theories of leadership are based upon the belief that great leaders are made, not born. Consider if the flip side of the great man theories. Rooted in behaviorism, this leadership theory focuses on the actions of leaders, not on mental qualities or internal states. According to this theory, people can learn to become leaders through teaching and observation. Now let's go to the sixth theories, the participative theories. Participative leadership theories suggest that the ideal leadership style is one that takes the input of others into account. These leaders encourage participation and contributions from group members and help group members feel more relevant and committed to the decision-making process. In, particip- in participative theories, however, the leader retains the right to allow the input of others. Then the seven theories, the management or transactional theory. Management theories, also known as transactional theories, focus on the role of supervision, organization, and group performance. These theories base leadership on a system of rewards and punishment. Managerial theories are often used in business. When employees are successful, they are rewarded, and when they fail, they are reprimanded or punished. And let's go to number 8, or the last theories. The relationship or transformational theory. Relationship theories, also known as transformational theories, focus upon connections formed between leaders and followers. Transformational leaders motivate and inspire people by helping group members see the importance and higher good of the task. These leaders are focused on the performance of group members, but also want every person to fulfill their potential. Leaders with this style often have high ethical and moral standards. Okay, understanding the foundations of leaderships. There are many ways of thinking about leadership, ranging from focusing on the personality traits of great leadership to emphasizing aspects of the situation that help determine how people lead. Like most things, leadership is highly multifaceted subject, and it is mixtures of many factors that help determine why some people become great leaders. Learn more about some of the things that make people strong leaders is one way of potentiality improving your own skill to become a great leader. And that's all for chapter 3, the understanding the foundation of leadership. Thank you so much, classmates. Thank you so much, Dean. Hope you learned something about this topic.